but did I just make it go?
Oh yeah, you just started it.
Where it started?
Yeah, you started it. Right? Yeah.
I feel like we started it. We try to utilize the setting where it was timed to go live at 2:05, but then I just hit a button, and here we are.
I want to say literally the second before as you hit that button, we were having a conversation about how professional quality we keep all of our sketch content and how unprofessional we are about this.
Yeah. Hi everybody. We're slowly figuring out how this platform we chose to utilize for sketch content actually works. So we're learning as you're learning.
Hey
everybody.
So we're here to say hey and to chat about Space Escape if you want, or anything else at all. We just figured make ourselves available in the week of our big drop and figure it out.
And wanted to just check in and say hi to everybody. Happy New Year. We were, popping in and out when we could in 2018. New year, new beginnings, new us, new beard.
Oh, a lot of beard.
Let's get a good beard angle there.
Thank you. Hey, thanks friends. Thanks for watching Space Escape. Anyone who's checked it out. Any early July 6th park plans? We haven't planned.
I'll say the moment that July 7th rolls around, I'm already on the train for next July 6th park.
Yeah.
So
whatever
the answer is always yes. The answer is always yes.
Yeah. Let me see here. Do we have the Dino Nuggets? Chris is going to get the Dino Nuggets.
Hang on.
To be excited about it. I'll answer some questions. What's up, Toby? Dragon Prince fan. Love it. Watch that, guys. Watch that. Question, how long did my makeup take to put on? That was probably a 2-hour makeup situation for that one. Caitlin, who has done a bunch of our makeup and is fantastic, really rocked that. While we set up the makeup chair that day, so some insider stuff. We shot everything in Space Escape in one day. We shot, so it was like 20 pages for combined for each of the VR elements. And then we were also in the same studio space grabbing those 2D flashback elements. So the Chilzarai scientist lab broom sequence flashback we set up my makeup chair right in front of that so that while we were getting into makeup, Chris and I could be talking and figuring out how to make that work. So yeah, the whole thing was filmed in one day, which is absolutely insane. Speaking of insane, July 6th.
So we're counting down the days, guys. Did that work? Did that look cool?
It looks very cool. It looks like you ate the whole audience.
Yeah.
Yes, I was the voice of Sokka and definitely can still do the voice. It's very much it's just my voice pitched up a little bit. It's just like here. So yeah. How all the videos? Yes, all of the videos were one take and all shot in a day. So basically, the way we ran it is we had our scripts and rehearsed them as plays basically, and blocked them as plays so that we could then do them in one go. And since we were shooting them all in a day, we basically got 3 to 6 takes.
We're both graduates of UCLA's theater program.
I didn't graduate, but
we took classes at the UCLA theater program. But so we're theater guys too, and we like immersive theater. Jack both of us have experience in immersive theater, and so it was kind of this one thing where it felt like a fusion of film and theater in a really cool way, and so wanted to just, I don't know, dust off the old cobwebs with regard to just that tension and fear of we're just gonna let it go. There's not gonna be any coverage. We can't hide anything in the edit, and then, which was fun to try and mentally map out to what types of visual effects we were gonna utilize and how to properly imagine that. If you look at episode 4, we have this ball of light that's moving around for a majority of the episode, and the way we conceived of doing it was literally our gaffer was leaning through a little hole and then had a basically a fishing pole with a light bulb on it. And so we were acting to this light bulb.
We wanted to get some amount of real light, and then
and then we like had to paint out that whole thing and replace the light with our buddy Steven Steelman, who did all the visual effects for Space Escape. Super talented guy. That episode in particular, it was something taking like 16 hours a frame to render, so we had to send it to like a render farm.
Yeah,
there's
that
a
is
lot that went into
one
that
of
episode.
one of the reasons this VR series came out so much later than we had promised.
Yeah,
there was a lot of steps that, having never done it before, were just discoveries along the way.
Also, just the level of like the 3D nature to it. And sorry if we're over talking if you haven't yet seen it or have seen it in.
Spoilers for days, guys. This is a spoiler-full conversation. I'm gonna get the chat up elsewhere so I can highlight some questions for us.
Great. But making it 3D required that there are 2 cameras for every point of view, so that you can kind of like render it out for each eyeball to give this like sense of depth perception. So it was this whole crazy world of tech and coding and stuff that just we were new to. But what was cool is that we found a little flaw in the matrix, and then they literally refreshed the entire YouTube app for us so that they could fix a sound issue that we discovered.
Yeah.
So Space Escape changing the world.
We rewrote
one view at a
YouTube.
time. Yeah.
Some questions. Will Dave continue to be a recurring character in your sketches? I mean, there's such a complex journey that
really
Dave has been on.
It's such a fundamental backbone.
Yeah, but wow, there are still so many questions to be answered. You know,
I mean, obviously,
where does Dave go from here?
Who's that roommate? The guy
played by your brother.
Played by my brother.
Who had previously appeared within the Dave universe, but was cut. Cutting room floor.
That's right.
We filmed an ending to which one? Abduction. The original, the first one. There was a version where Dave returned to his apartment and then interacted with his roommate about basically like if he could remember the thing and if it was a dream and whatnot, which is out there in some deleted scenes.
It's in the deleted scenes.
Guys, the Dave universe is expansive.
Also curious, I feel like we should at some point build out the proper abduction universe viewing playlist.
Oh yeah,
if we were to go through it,
the Godfather
right now,
saga,
because we could let them know what ones are tied together, or let some folks figure out the.
We threw in Dave. I'll tell you where it is, and then you can you can decide. I'll show. You can decide how to pursue this information, but within the Dave 2D flashbacks
in episode 2,
we are saying that is all full canon. So there are some clips in there that are from other content of ours that we personally believe tie into the Dave canon. So check that out. Some questions. How do we get started? And this great question by Films by JRP. Just an incredibly kind question. How did you start the channel with such high quality? Did you have another channel before this? We kind of did. We'd been making stuff together for a very long time. We did have another sketch channel before that.
We had one called Friends in Real Life.
Friends in Real Life. I forgot about it.
Where we made, it was probably because it was just like a flash in the pan. We
Yeah.
weren't sure what it was going to be. And it was the two of us with our buddy Jordan. And then we pull other friends in where we could. And we released, I think, like 4 sketches. You can see the beginnings of our supernatural thriller sci-fi twist interests in there. My personal favorite is The Final Exam. If you guys want to check that one out, a little Abbott and Costello-y vibe.
There's some goodies in there.
Yeah.
Some of those I do think really hold up. And prior to that, we made with a bunch of our friends from college. We made a web series called Dorm Life. So we'd been making stuff together for a super long time. And then this channel, Chris and I kept coming back together to make stuff as we were then going off and working on other stuff. And Chris went on tour with Blue Man, and I was doing, the VO gig. And then we're like, oh, let's be doing this again. Let's be making stuff together, and then launched this channel, not totally knowing what it was. We made White Room just as like, let's make a sketch or two and see what they are. So we made Movies in Space first, which was Chris's big, like, while he was out on tour. Chris, I'm talking a lot.
Yep.
Chris,
no, go for it.
Came back charged to make this like big, longer short film to then like take around to film festivals and stuff. And I think kind of while going around to film festivals together, we were like, this is fun. We should be making more stuff.
Speaking of, Kate Hernandez just asked, is Movies in Space in the Space Escape universe too? I'm going to say yes.
You are.
Loosely, and the reason is Jack doesn't even know this. But if you look closely at our bonus sketch that we just recently...
I do know this.
Damn it, I thought I had you on one.
I did not notice this myself. I noticed it when it was pointed out to me. So you did have me.
So,
do you want to finish that thought?
Just that, hey, check out our bonus sketch off of the one we just released. There's a little Movies in Space reference in there, I think.
Yeah. That bonus sketch was a fun,
that was fun. Yeah.
That was a fun find. Basically, we were shooting, as we mentioned, so we shot that all in one day, all in one space. We were at the Laurel Canyon Stages, which is this friggin' awesome place in North Hollywood that we...
Hi, Shelby. I was doing that because Claudia asked. I introduced your channel to my friend Shelby, and she can never make it to the live stream. So would you two be kind enough to say hello to her?
You did. I did. You were kind enough.
Kind enough, Jack.
I am not kind enough, yeah. Claudia.
So
we were at Laurel Canyon Stages. Hi, Shelby, and we shot the whole thing in one day. So part of that was we got those 2D flashbacks, including the Cooper, my alien guy. There was just like we had that set, and then next to the set where we were shooting our thing, there was like a cockpit of an alien thing. So we're like, yeah, we'll go in that thing. We'll jump in that, and we'll just like shoot this flashback real quick. While we had the camera up,
it felt like knowing we were only gonna get like a 10-second thing with no dialogue. It felt like such a waste to have the whole of a spaceship,
this
and,
like beautiful
people around it, just like holding lights.
Yeah, we'd set up this fantastic light rig. We played lights under the whole dashboard, so we had this like classic filmic cockpit set. So we were like, well, while we're here, let's just do something.
And so we just improv. It was literally just in the moment. It was one take, kind of like improv
sketch
thing.
Felt funny.
And then
it was just like, all right, while I'm here, Chris was like standing off to the side of the camera directing. It was just like, okay, great. He's gonna be the computer. I'm gonna just be calling out, and we didn't know what that was gonna be, and it felt funny. Someone asked earlier.
Household Wheel might have just discovered something interesting.
Someone asked earlier how many of the alien words were scripted versus improvised. I will say any new alien words in that sketch, in the One Last Goodbye, any alien words that are in that but are not in Space Escape the full thing were definitely just sounds I was making. But Braps to Tips Pabibs and Foul Pabrit were both scripted lines. I will say, because of the nature of the way we were shooting them, knowing we would only have a few takes and that we would be committed to fully using a full take with no cuts, the Space Escape individual videos have far less improv than we typically do.
Right.
Because we were pretty tightly scripted. There definitely still is a fair amount, but mostly that would be like we do it fully to script the first like 3 or 4, and then on the last couple we'd mess around a little bit. So if we chose one of the last ones, it does have some improv. If we chose one of the earlier ones, it's pretty tightly to script. So definitely still some improv, but less than our typical stuff, which usually we always shoot the script and then improvise all over it and all around it and do a lot of alt runs and such. Steven
wants to know, can he show us what room we're in? Because he's used to seeing things in 360 now.
You have seen this room in 360.
If you checked out episode 5, maybe you could know exactly where we are. I know you all are utilizing your own VR technology that apparently maybe in this live stream exists. Does now. Steven also asked earlier, how old is too old to be young or something? How old is too old to be young anymore? I feel like probably our age.
Yeah, I don't know that I feel young anymore.
I don't think I'm really sitting hard in that category.
Just turned 31. This beard tells me, young in ways, but
Yeah.
too old to be young.
Playing young dads now.
Yeah,
would
I
be
mean, I
probably the
still,
roles we'd go out
I
for.
still, as per the question of can I still do the soccer voice, I will say, voiceover wise, I still play 14-year-olds almost exclusively. Check out The Dragon Prince on Netflix. Season 2 just came out. So my voice is young, but my soul is withered and dead.
Fishy Case asks, should I watch Space Escape on a desktop or should I wait for my headset to arrive? If you have something on the way, I say wait. I think there is an added little special sauce when you can kind of see it in that 3D realm. That said, one of my favorite ways to watch it is actually to pull it up on my phone and then have earbuds in if you don't have the 3D capabilities. But yeah, I mean, if you got it coming, wait a little bit. This was totally a hugely ambitious tech experiment to just see what our version of storytelling would be in that. And it's been super cool to finally have something that we can share, knowing that, we had to kind of relearn filmmaking because it's just, this technology is so new that it's not like pulling the old camera out that you learned on in high school or whatever. It's just discovering a ton of new stuff. So we're definitely going to continue to return to form and give the good stuff. Be curious too. We're considering doing a possible sister channel to where we would put bonus content on that channel and then make our channel, the main Chris and Jack channel, strictly the big kind of sketches and space escapes of the world. So kicking that around, might do some curating on just kind of streamlining stuff, but we'll see. Curious what you guys would think of that room. Also, we just released a little music. Our buddy Jeff Toyne, who wrote the Chris and Jack theme, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, Jack. It's there's a 2-minute version of that song. We have a little 3-second ditty at the end of our sketches. That's our theme. There's a full song. It's on Spotify. It's the Chris and Jack album, and there's a full song.
I have not listened to the full song.
That's there, and then music from Movies in Space is there. We'll link it in the description of this if we can figure out how to do it. But there's that. We have a merch store now. You can check stuff out. Just released a retro version of the shirt today.
Yeah,
take it. Don't whatever. It's there.
It's a merch store. Some questions. Are your sketches based on true stories from childhood? All of them are real abduction tales from our lives. Yes. Someone asked Patreon. Maybe. Is that a thing? We were thinking about Patreon. I don't know. Tell us.
Yeah.
Someone asked me boop. For sure. Absolutely.
Could we ever expect a Dorm Life reunion? For those that have seen Dorm Life, we, the creators of Dorm Life, actually every month we get together, we hang out. We have a standing monthly rotation where someone plans a new thing to do. So there is always a new Dorm Life reunion you can expect, but in some generally private spot in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So,
someone asked about first of all, someone pitched that the Chris and Jack bonus content side page would be called Jack and Chris, which I think is pretty strong. I was thinking it would be something like Chris and Jack
and bonus.
But Jack and Chris, pretty strong pitch. Someone else just pitched that we should have a gaming channel, and I do think it would be fun to just sit around and play games.
The only thing I think of note that I could play that people would, the only game that I would really be good at would be Mario Kart.
You're super deep in Mario Kart.
I'm deep in it.
I just bought a Switch. It hasn't arrived yet. I'm telling you this for the first time.
You bought it?
I bought it. I've been talking about getting a Switch. I've been super busy, and I've been talking about getting a Switch for months now, and I just got a Switch. So I might chase you down those Mario Karts. Honestly, I'm mostly excited for Tetris 99. There's a battle mode Tetris thing, and it's free. So I didn't even buy a game. I bought the Switch, and I'm gonna get Mario Kart. And other games I'm excited about, Super Mario Maker 2 and all of that stuff.
Jack just buys consoles as paperweights.
Yeah, just to keep my documents orderly.
It's an aesthetic choice.
But I didn't initially buy a game. I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna start playing Tetris 99, and then when the time is right, I'll do some other stuff.
Eric's having issues adapting to life as a broom.
Okay.
An alien-shaped broom.
Yeah, not a broom.
Not
a broom, Eric.
Been rough moving around, opening doors, and not falling over. Any advice?
So how do you imagine the physics of Chilzarai?
I can show you the physics of Chilzarai.
Because we did intentionally shoot it in such a way that if you're picturing it, you're just sort of you're hovering upright in space, and you here he is. Here you are, viewer.
He didn't want to do it.
By the way,
Chilzarai
is we purposefully did not gender.
Non-gendered. But Chilzarai is here also to answer any questions you might have. As conceived in the flashback, Chilzarai, from the for like the mixing of the chemicals and whatnot to like show that you knew the cure. Do people? I guess we could tell people that your arms were actually drumsticks.
Did anyone catch that?
Did anyone see that?
Did anyone notice? Chilzarai's arms are actually...
Didn't mean to throw you under the bus there, Chilzarai. I didn't mean to. Is it cool? It's cool. All right, great. As conceived, there was actually we had to actually have a very in-depth creative conversation about Space Escape episode 5. So spoilers if you haven't gotten there yet. But when we are going to put Chilzarai into the lock or into the warp portal, there was a question of like, should we make it that when the stick is lifted, the viewer goes backward with it? Because your head in theory would be attached, but then we were thinking that we tried it and it was so nauseating. It was guaranteed
this is
to make someone puke.
To Grace's question, Chris, how'd you feel about pulling the 360 camera? This was like, it was a big conversation. It was a lot of like practice. Like a good chunk of the day was just lining up that shot to make sure like Chris could do it as comfortably and smoothly as possible without making everyone yak all over.
It was also, that was truly, because it's so far into that episode, by the time we got there and knowing that there was like a very slim margin of error for like where we needed to be for focus and space and where it could like line up, it was one of those things that just holding it and knowing there was only one move to get there, it was a high stakes thing that if you look close in my eyes, I tried to do my best to not show that I was thinking really hard about
it's a high stakes moment for the character too.
Dropped in, informed, used.
The panic was useful. Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
Yes.
I hope the VR experience didn't nauseate anyone. We really tried to make that as smooth and comfortable for you as possible. I watched some of the partially stitched footage when we were first testing stuff. I watched some of the not fully stitched footage on my phone on a train in New York. And I very much got very sick going like backwards on a train, watching very blurry VR content while going like this. And there was just somebody like sitting next to me. And so I was also trying to do it like really tucked to the side. It's not a good idea, guys. That's not the way to do it. Favorite Nicolas Cage movie. Wow. I'm just going to shoot from the hip here and say
Con Air.
Con Air?
Con Air's mine.
My sleeper, I'll tell you, my sleeper is Gone in 60 Seconds. You know what?
My sleeper is National Treasure.
National Treasure. I mean, yeah. So I'm
National
like,
Treasure's great.
Deep in my heart of hearts, soul of souls, my favorite thing in the world is like elaborate capers. So National Treasure really does it for me.
Who are your favorite characters to play? And I also agree, all of the Nicolas Cage movies are my favorite Nicolas Cage movies.
I think
that's a good answer.
I think that's a very fair answer.
What
are your favorite?
It's funny. For a lot of stuff we default to, I think you're an incredible character actor, as you are a normal actor. Just to say that a lot of times our rhythm we fall into is sometimes like bigger characters that you'll take on or makeup centric stuff. And then I'll be the looser term straight man in that stuff. But sometimes I have a good time doing also the demon from Demon Book of Secrets is fun. Or the Book of Dark Secrets. We changed that name like 4 times, so I never remember what it's called.
We have that. Yeah, I have that problem as well. There's also, because we like improvise so much and stuff, there are times where like we'll like we'll like drill down on an edit and we'll be looking at this thing for a while, but then like within like a couple months, I won't remember what's actually, I don't remember what we actually put in it.
I will say,
someone asked, sorry, can you squint more when reading this comment?
Which one? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. I'll say our sketches like Wormhole Monocle and July 6th Park that are much more like simultaneous cross coverage and just being like very small and pedantic bickery guys. I think those from a selfishly performative standpoint are some of the most fun because it's just a lot of like,
it's playing off each other.
We have an outline in our heads and then just kind of riff, which is great.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the congratulations on the engagement. Appreciate it, y'all. A couple people have asked if I have any knowledge or involvement of the Avatar remake. I don't. I'm so excited about it. I mean, I'm aware of some of this, but I have no. So I don't know. It'd be awesome.
This group, Extremely Decent.
When are you guys collaborating with Extremely Decent?
Or are you afraid that the power of such a collaboration might cause the singularity? Asking for a friend. I don't think we're ever going to want to template with that.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Ranger K asks, how much of your improv ends up as genuine conversation? That's a fun question. I will say we consciously will often write, like, some of the stuff will come out of like real conversations we're having and real riffs and stuff. So we will sometimes purposefully write ourselves situations where we know, like, yeah, we'll riff on that and we can just like really talk and have some real opinions there. So not much. Most of it is, we're in characters and we know each other's rhythms well enough that it will feel like regular conversation.
But I feel like fundamentally the stuff that sparks for us from like the sketch standpoint is that a lot of our ideas that's a cool surface level idea. But then when we really get into the writing of it, that's what kind of like let something kind of take flight is when the sketch sure is a heist thing, but it's not about a heist. It's about a relationship. And that's something that we really get spun up on, like the True Friendship sketch. It's about some explorers, sure, and they need to prove their friendship is true, but it's actually about two friends coming to terms with like, what does it actually mean to be adult male friends? So stuff like that gets us.
Comes from a real enough place that, it's very easy to riff in. I saw you guys planning anything special for 100K subs? Been subs since the first sketch. Always knew you guys would grow. Thank you very much. We will, for sure.
We're definitely
going something. Like, oh wow, that's close to happening. I mean, we can softly tell you that we are figuring out how we've been. This VR series took a lot of time. We've also been doing a lot of very exciting outside work together and writing and stuff. So we haven't been, as you may have noticed, releasing sketches. We are excited to do so sometime this year. We will be gearing up to do something. So we'll definitely celebrate that milestone if we hit it. So help us hit it.
Yeah. Hopefully. Well, it's one of those elusive. I don't know why there's something special about that number. I think also is great.
Yeah, it was definitely the number when we started. We were like, 100K.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Can we expect another Guy Who compilation at some point? I love the first. How about that?
You should.
Maybe I should. For those who don't know, my Instagram, I do some dumb, silly clown bits on occasion because I love physical performing. I was in Blue Man Group for a spell. I'll still do shows on occasion. And that's become my little outlet for some of the more like silly, too short to be a sketch kind of things and too profound to just be a tweet. So yeah, I've been putting that stuff up there. Chris Smith Who, you can follow me. You can follow Jack at Jack DeSena.
Yeah, I'm not a great follow. I don't post a lot.
Got that check mark though, dude.
Oh, sure. I did. What was the thing at the end of the year? The top 9 thing, right? That a lot of people were posting on Instagram. I just to check.
There's just one. And
it was
8 blocks.
It was 3. Blocks. It was 3, and they put them in like the upper corner, and then just a grid of like white boxes. And I did it. I was like, that's funny. I'll post that on Instagram. That'll be my 4th of the year. And then I didn't. I just forgot.
Side that made me think of a story when Facebook had just first come out. I was a freshman in college. It was right when it was only happening in colleges. And then someone told me like, oh, there's this new website and you just like show who all your friends are. And I thought it was the dumbest sounding thing. And so I just did this like crappy profile where I found this like terrible photo of myself, put it up on a profile, and then created my Facebook account. And then it basically was a template that showed just this horrible photo. And the first iterations of Facebook, it said, this is you. And then it said the words, this is you, then a photo, this terrible photo I picked of myself. And then below it said, you have 0 friends. Just summed it all up.
Beautiful,
right
beautiful start.
Yeah, just a real hot start.
Journey. A couple people have asked, how did we meet? We met, we like connected and started working together in college, but we actually met on the set of All That, which the Nick show I was on for a number of years when I was in high school, and Chris as a world-renowned kid juggling prodigy.
World-renowned. Let's make it more specific to Lake Tahoe, Northern California.
Lake Tahoe renowned kid juggler. He met a fellow castmate of mine from All That, Chelsea Brummett, because Chris was competing in a juggling like a Kid Star competition that Chelsea was one of the judges at, and that led to Chris coming to a set visit to hang out on the set of All That, and we hit it off, and then reconnected at UCLA, totally coincidentally. When did you start juggling? Branson asks.
Branson, I started when I was 12 on a family road trip where we went halvesies on an RV with another family, and we were the first trip. Our family took it out first, and we found out that it was a clunker, and it kept breaking down. So we kept breaking down across from Tahoe to Yellowstone. And at this random cafe, there was this book called Juggling for the Complete Klutz. I'm definitely going to plug that. I'm plug it till the end. Juggling for the Complete Klutz.
This is how you got to learn.
This is how you learn, man. I saw the book in this basket of books at the register, and I asked my dad for this book to just kill time. And then he said the words, yeah, right, like you'll ever use that, son. And then that marked into my brain. And then I made it my mission by the end of it to do that. And then that rolled into like a 5th grade talent show, which rolled into like a performance for the middle school. And then by that point, putting the hat out and just entertaining the tourists.
Roped your brother in.
Speaking of. Let's see what I can go for. So you can continue, Jack. I'm going to do this for a while in the background.
Were you afraid? Oh, yeah. How long will you stream? I don't know. Hello from Massachusetts. Hey, from Massachusetts. I'm from Massachusetts. I lived in Randolph until I was 11. Hi from London. Hi from Israel. Hello, all.
Someone
hey,
said hi
everybody.
From Norway at a point.
Hi from Norway. Someone said NorCal represent.
Also, I'm bouncing a Tahoe hat.
How long did it take you to record the Dragon Prince? It was spread out over a while. We would go record it in Vancouver. So, hey!
I got cocky. I was trying to move the chair back. And
I know, I feel like you could have gone literally forever.
Yeah.
So, hi Toronto, hi Polando, hi Austria, hi Germany. Whoa, this is great.
This is crazy.
That's a big spread, especially there's 130 people in here. So the fact that we're covering such a far,
wow.
Or also
people are claiming.
Yeah, you guys might be lying. Hi Philly, hi from behind you. Boston, North Korea, Iceland, Brazil, JK, Brazil. Okay. Chile. Really, guys? Really? All of these places? That's amazing. Belgium.
I'm just going
to.
We're just going to take your word
Italy,
for it.
America, Canada, DC, Utah, Minnesota, Arizona. That's awesome.
Guten Tag from Colorado,
Kansas, Serbia, classified.
They are all lying.
Work in Chicago, England. You're all lying.
Antarctica, Mars,
Shilmas.
Oh yeah,
Seattle, Satan. From Satan, as in this is Satan saying hi, or hi from within Satan.
Berlin Vargas asks, how does it feel to be able to create your own videos while having other jobs? Does it get tiring, or does it help with your creative process? So that ebbs and flows for sure, but definitely is, a challenge. The main time, especially when we were releasing once a month and trying to stay on that schedule and continuing to keep that level of like high quality stuff. It got crazy at times because a lot of the work that I'll do like freelance video editing and whatnot. And at certain points it got to where it was these crazy bottlenecks of like working on a project 9 to 5, 9 to 6 at a job, editing, and then coming home and then editing our stuff from 7 till 2 a.m. and then doing that for
Chris edits all of our stuff.
So yeah, I'll take the post flow on that. And then also with regard to like pre-production, producing, shooting, writing, all that stuff just takes time. So when it is a busy time for us doing our individual, career stuff, that does bottleneck, but it also does inform stuff like, just speaking on the subject of editing, that's super helpful. When I was, editing a lot, it kept me sharp for when going into our stuff, experimenting with new rhythms and whatnot, and like the edit realm. Also, the people you meet through doing these things, we pull in to our projects as well.
And there are times where it is like, we're both doing stuff in this field as our day jobs and stuff. And there are times where it's like, oh man, I just, you're on the grind of doing this thing. And then, sometimes, though it's the most fun job in the world, there are times where it's like, oh, it got a little grindy and it got a little tough. Then those like shoot days especially are just like, oh, it's a lot of stress, but also we show up and we like let a camera roll and like play around and mess around and make each other laugh. So it can be such a spark that it's coming out of like busy, difficult times and stuff, Chesterton asks what they should have for dinner. What'd you have for lunch? Well, we can help.
Yeah.
What'd you have for lunch? Hey, Bruno, sorry I didn't give you your birthday present, but I will see you tomorrow, perhaps.
What's the video you're most proud of?
I don't know.
I think I have 2 answers.
Okay. I don't. Okay. I definitely try to let him out.
And I do. I think we can.
No.
This is an element of
please.
Yeah. I think that we can. But no, I'm saying that you can have that opinion.
Pick your babies.
You can let it go, but also have a favorite.
What's your favorite?
I'll say what I'm most proud of is not necessarily my favorite. Okay. See, that's why I think this is an interesting question.
That is yes. Proud of yes.
I think the one I'm most proud of is Movies in Space. That one was purely felt like there was an execution in willpower, because there was just wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen for a long time. And then just had to just grind and make sure. And that was the first thing that we really
that's definitely what
kind of brought us together to do it.
Yeah.
So I think that one has a lot of intrinsic value in being proud of a thing. And then I was going to say White Room. I think White Room was the next one in line. And then that one just really solidified what we're going to do. So I'd say those 2 most proud aren't necessarily my favorites.
Yeah. My proud ones, the most tickle spot for me on our stuff tends to be the heisty capery stuff. So I don't know if it's proud, but the most just that feels I'm glad we got to play in that world. That's just felt very in an element that I was excited to be in, was stuff like Moments Between the Montage and what did we call the one with the Art of the Heist? Those ones are speak to a particular part of my heart. Most underrated. I was just gonna pull up my views because I'm trying to think.
Juan just gave us $2.
Oh, what's up, Juan? Thanks.
Also asked, how long have you been growing that amazing beard?
I was growing a beard for a while, and then I accidentally shaved it. Had my beard trimmer set the wrong way, was looking at the number dial backwards, and just whipped it all off. Maybe October. So I've maybe had it since October, but with trims. No, before that, because I trimmed it before I proposed because I wanted to look, keep it
tight.
Clean.
Well, and
so that was in October. So
one might have funded another little trim. You got yourself a little cleanup.
That's I can go to Floyd's and get a little cleanup.
Most underrated video. Yeah. I think the most underrated one, in my opinion, is the second in the July 6th
That was
park
exactly
video.
what I was going to say. That's definitely
the Lost Holiday July 6th park is our most least viewed sketch, and also the one that was the most insane to make.
That was
and
like
it's
relative
huge.
to effort. That was definitely the most. So I am genuinely like proud of that one, and the fact that it is kind of seldom viewed is a source of pride. Like it is charming to me. The July 6th park stuff. I kind of love that it's like it feels like our little secret.
Yeah, it's our little corner of the internet that no one's in it, but there was so much effort and joy brought into that series.
Yeah.
But the Lost Holiday July 6th Park has got to be our most underrated sketch.
I agree,
and we're okay with that.
Yes. It's also, to me, that one has a fun style where it is sort of like, it feels like you're with us. That it's something close to like a documentary style, and it feels to me very like organic feeling and dropped in. And I think we made some fun choices in the edit and stuff too, where we left in some pretty like raw feeling moments. And I think there's some fun stuff in there. So
I also selfishly, there's a moment for our characters in it that when there's the sneeze, that's like the most charming. There's like this very charming, genuine like friend beat moment that happened on an accident.
We're in a rough place in an argument. We're trying to reconnect, and I sneeze, and you give a very genuine bless you and a very genuine thank you.
It's the reverse.
You sneeze,
and then you give a bless you. Yeah,
and that we continue this like moment of reuniting. That felt good. That's a product of, I don't know. Also, maybe it's a dumb thing that you guys are like, oh, that's stupid,
right?
But that's a product of we shoot in such an improvisational style a lot of the time, especially on something like that where we're able to shoot to camera and we wanted it to feel very organic. That we're just like very committed to like stay in no matter what, use whatever's happening. If somebody's flubbing a line, that's not, you don't flub a line, you misspeak as a person and you use it. And that's part of the thing now. So that was a fun moment of just sort of like staying connected as performers and finding a thing that to me now is like, felt like a very real moment. I've definitely been in like arguments with people or in a relationship or something where it's like, I'm a little, you're upset with each other, but like when a real thing happens, you still like take that little moment to say like, yeah, God bless you. Thank you.
Got to acknowledge that we're still human beings.
We're still human beings.
Yeah.
So that felt like a nice organic moment.
Would a Patreon help us get more skits? Good question. I mean, we're curious as to what a Patreon, truthfully, we like the idea of like being able to carve out a finite like production block and kind of like group shoot and stuff. So there is a part of us that's like slightly reticent to just like have an open-ended, like whenever and however. We're trying to figure out like, can Patreon work that way? Does it make sense to do like a Kickstarter or something like that to fund like a season of sketches for us where we're releasing stuff more regularly? And so I don't know, we default to advice there, but it's definitely
a thing we're trying to figure out. We love making and releasing these sketches and sharing them with you guys. So we're definitely trying to figure out like how in 2019, with our increasingly busy and exciting schedules, can we make this work and bring it to you? So yeah, that's all on the table. So we'll definitely talk about that more. Did you see?
What's this?
A friend of ours.
Oh yeah,
Nick.
Hi, Nick. We can't see you.
Hi. Do you hate it when people call sketches skits? I don't hate it, but it's like that's not
to me a skit is something that happens live and that you're doing for like a small
church
group of family or friends. Is what I was gonna say. The skits that I was most proud of were Nick and I, my brother and I, when we were growing up. My mom would be running errands, and at some points it would just be the two of us at the house. And then we decided that we would do pizza performances, what they were called, because it was like, what are we gonna have for dinner? And then we would like rehearse and schedule out this like, we'd spend a few hours performing skit, figuring out writing skits, so that way when we heard the keys jangling in the door and she'd come upstairs with groceries, presumably to cook for dinner, we would inundate her with a 20-minute show that we wrote just for her
to convince her
to buy us pizza, and it would always work. But you had to tease it. You got to tease it out.
You got to build it into. Did you like build it into the narrative? Was it
that it was like a continuation?
Did the skit like culminate in and now we need some pizza?
Yes, of course. Right. There was a lot of hands and like take a knee and like
great.
We need pizza. So
Would you guys ever do a live comedy tour? I don't know. That'd be fun. I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We do love doing live stuff. So both of you work together to write the sketches. Yeah, big time. We our process varies from sketch to sketch, but I'd say our most common version of it is one of us has an idea, we'll chat about it, we'll riff on it, we'll find what part of it we think is really funny. And a lot of times in riffing, a structure will develop or some jokes will develop, and then one of us will go off and write a first draft, and then we'll pass it back and forth for a while, and then go like, okay, this is funny enough to shoot. And then typically the night before we'll get together again to like make sure all the jokes are as punched up as they can be, and to develop what like an alt sheet, like a sheet of alternate takes that we want to get of like, we go like, here's the scripted sketch. This is what we're going to get. It would be fun to like riff in that area or try this alternate version of that joke. Or a lot of times we'll shoot like multiple endings for our sketches, because we'll go like, we really believe in the thing people say of like, you write it 3 times. You write it 3 times. You write it when you write it. You write it when you shoot it. You write it when you edit it. So, and since Chris is like such an amazing editor, a lot of
thank you.
Just so good. It's definitely like a big part of our process is that we consciously overshoot and give ourselves some options in the edit to then rebuild it again in a new image. And there are definitely sketches that have like changed
significantly in one of those processes. And also if you look at our deleted scene sketches, those are actually more like redux cuts of sketches. Most of them have a similar narrative and spine and just kind of feel like an alternate dimension of the same sketch. So those are fun to check out to just see like how many alts that we'll shoot in any given thing. And of course, check them out, see more stuff, see what we have out there.
What were our majors in college? We were both theater kids at UCLA. Do you ever think of an idea and realize it's similar to an old sketch of yours? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There have definitely been times where we go like, we kind of did that already, I guess.
Did that one.
Sometimes that's a deterrent. Sometimes we're like, oh no, it's fun because it kind of links back to that thing, or it feels like of a similar world. But absolutely, there are times where just we'll go like pretty far down an idea. There have been stuff where we've had a script and then we've looked at it like, I do actually just think it's too similar to this other thing we've already done. I don't know if it feels fresh. What was the most difficult shot to get from any sketch? That's a fun question. I don't want to count Movies in Space because that was like a longer shooting process. Because I would definitely say the like sweeping jib shot over the tufas at Mono Lake was by far the toughest.
It was 2 miles away from a parking. This isn't an exaggeration. This isn't like a grandpa walked in the snow to get to school. 2 miles away on a dirt path to get to, not even a dirt path, to get to where this like location spot was, and we were pulling really heavy gear out there and asked like people like, hey, will you come help us out on this shoot near Mono Lake? And then people would be like, sure. Didn't know that they were being recruited to walk it was like a 10-mile day with stuff because of
the number of times you'd have to go back and forth carrying like the equipment to then assemble a jib to get like a big sweeping like crane
steel tracks and stuff. So if you look at Movies in Space and that opening montage stuff, walking away with like the bird thing and then the big shot of the 2 moons, that side story is one, but within a sketch.
Also, this is just a secret that I'm just going to put out there now with no promise of ever finding or delivering the footage.
Oh yeah.
While we were shooting that, we were like, let's grab this shot that we could use for another sketch. And it's a sketch that a sketch that we wrote a very long time ago that we never ended up shooting, that we won't end up shooting. It's just like, I don't know, it's fine. We didn't end up thinking that it was that funny, but we got this shot because we were like, it'd be really funny to get this shot in case we ever shoot that sketch. So there is footage of me. There's jib shot footage of me on the tufas at Mono Lake, like open shirt blowing in the breeze, like a cappella to no track so that it's purposefully like really off. A cappella singing Daughtry's Be Careful What You Wish For. So that footage exists.
And I'm going to screen grab it and I'm going to put it in the community tab. So at least we'll be able to see what that is.
I do want, there's a dream to me of someday still finishing that show.
Do you guys have a subreddit? Do you plan on getting one? We don't have a subreddit don't really know how to start one. If you'd want to start one for us, I mean, that would be
Does that feel
great.
I
I think
We
there's
could
a
have,
July
like, a
6th
Discord or
park.
something, too.
I think there's a July 6th park subreddit.
which I'm sure is popping.
Very popping. But that might be cool. I mean, we definitely Reddit was what got us our start. We really when we uploaded White Room, it did real well, and then that became the thing.
Release the footage for 100K. Absolutely. Commitment right now. Our 100K celebration will include me singing.
Yeah. Great.
Maybe, yeah. Someone asked, would you ever release scripts? That could be fun. Yeah, we were talking about that. Maybe if we do like a Patreon type of thing, that could be like a fun reward. Is that what they call it? Yeah, I think it might be fun for people to see. Here's what we start with. Could be fun.
And then see where where the juices start going, and then to see like a compare and contrast of before and after. Could be fun.
And because also I think we talk a lot about doing a lot of improv, but conversely, you might be surprised of how much stuff that seems, that was actually scripted. I don't know.
Yeah.
But do we ever improvise on set? Yeah, a lot. But I will say in a very structured way, we will get what we wanted. We'll get like the scripted version, and then we'll go crazy from there. And a lot of times we will sort of plan improvised areas. We'll go like, oh, we could also get a version where instead of talking about this thing, we're talking about that thing. And we won't write the that thing version, but we'll know like roughly like, oh yeah, it's this kind of idea. And then we'll just improvise it. But
the one that was most like in production transformative, Wormhole Monocle started as an idea. It was a whole other thing for like 2 years, and it just kept coming up in this conversation. Then we had a script that we felt like was funny, and we knew where it was going. But then there was always something in the back of the mind being like, we'll figure it out when we get there. And then literally leading up to the minutes before we started shooting, we still hadn't fully understood a like turning point in the script.
Yeah.
And then
how to make the sort of like seeing the future. Oh, what the tier is we're still figuring out how to make that.
And then in improvising during that, there was this kind of like happy accident of this like Rube Goldberg machine idea of like this tier leading to hitting that thing that wasn't fully scripted. And then we like were assembling pieces there. And then once we got an insert shot of this little like test tube that we filled with like some soda, and then the cork popped naturally off. That was a magic moment in camera. We did not. It was like get the thing rolling past the camera, and it'll maybe hit a fork, and that'll fall. So it was much more elaborate. And then when this cork popped out, it was like, okay, it's all about the cork. And then we just shot this cork ricocheting around. So that was a very fun like plot thing that happened, and we got a whole new set of shot list items off of just what was like a little improv-y thing.
And we definitely very consciously stay open to those discoveries all the way through. Like we're both very meticulous comedy second guessers of like, can we beat this? And does this actually make sense? And will this track? So we're doing that as we write, as we plan our shots, as we edit, all of it. We're constantly going like, is this right? Should we get a version of this that allows us to cut this? Like that's another thing we'll do a lot of alts for or improvisations for is like, hey, we have this like 2-page section in the middle. There's also a version where we skip all that and we just do like a couple of jokes about this, and it like moves way quicker. So we'll get stuff like that as well to like to cover ourselves in both directions. That's a fun one. Mugen asks, what sketch have one of you turned down that the other thought was a good idea? Something that happens a ton. Like that's just a very normal creative process where one of us will pitch an idea and be like, or even sometimes we'll like go all the way down the process of like writing a thing that one of us is a little more excited about, or we're both excited about, but then at the end there's a second guess. I want to share one.
Please.
There was a sketch that we both have thought was very funny at various points that we haven't shot that maybe we will one day shoot. But I personally think the holdup is one of the holdups is
is it BI?
What is it? Oh no! Oh no! We can talk about that one.
Yeah.
No, there's one. It's a sketch called Sticks of the Devil, and it's I won't pitch the joke because I want to in case we ever make it. But the setup, I won't pitch the setup. But it fundamentally at its core is maybe or maybe not making fun of devil sticking, which is a form
silly,
of balance juggling,
right?
And I think we've had a hard time. Chris is very good at it. Chris is like genuinely super impressive at it and has worked super hard to hone that skill, or did as a child. And I wrote the first pass at it, and I intended to write it in a way that kind of like that.
You intended it to be celebratory,
while making making fun of it.
undercutting.
It's making fun of it, but it's about a person like having the beautiful moment where this like thing that some people think is lame turns out great and beautiful for them. And I think we have both thought it was funny at various points, but can't decide what our point of view is, and which is a big thing in sketch.
You got to know where it lands.
You got to know what we're going towards, and I agree.
It's a delicate little thing because there are those devil stickers out there that we don't want to, offend whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I am one of them as well. And you want to, whatever your art is, whatever your passion is, no matter how crazy or strange it may be, sometimes, I mean, I think it should be celebrated. I think people that have passions and pursue them and get really good at a thing, we're human beings. We can get good at a lot of random crazy things.
And so we subsequently wrote a draft of the sketch that ended with a PSA of Chris explaining,
saying that, hey, we may be poking fun at the devil sticks here, but also as one who does perform and has performed devil sticks in the past, we're not being mean. just in the circumstances of what we set up, we'll show. So maybe that one will or won't happen.
So Amos, thank you so much.
Amos, $2.
That's so kind of you.
Oh,
man. He says, thanks for making things I laugh at them. That is genuinely
that's the goal.
The whole goal. That's the only thing we're doing. So
that's it.
Love it.
So that's so cool. What's the smartest question I could ask you guys in this situation?
That one.
Let's give it 3 more minutes. Going to go for an even hour here. We're at 56:50. So we're gonna round it out here, guys. We'll rapid fire this.
Get in.
Any thoughts?
Last couple of questions, and we'll whip through. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for hanging out. This is always fun. Whenever we do this, we really enjoy getting to hang out with you all and check in. We're definitely hoping to do some more this year and stay engaged with y'all. Get us to 100K and we'll show you a very dumb video of me.
It's also, and not to just beat a dead horse here, but it is truly like incredible the amount of positivity that we've seen on our channel, and people note it. Like people, our friends and whatnot, that will see us post a video and see the comments and stuff. It's pretty incredible to see that there's people that are digging what we're doing, and we're really loving you all. So hopefully we can keep this train going,
Andy Potter, thank you so much. Isaac Sutton, thank you so much. Really fantastic.
I didn't even know this was a feature.
I didn't know this either. I didn't know this was happening. So thank you so much. Jack, how do you feel about the live action Avatar thing happening? Love it. So excited. So I think it seems like a perfect home for it. I think, Netflix and long form with Brian and Mike, I think it's going to be awesome.
Do you have a team other than the two of you? We have a lot of friends that we collaborate with depending on the jobs, but Jack and I will create them. We'll be writing, we'll be performing, we'll be directing and editing.
Check out our credits because it varies, but there are definitely some people who have been really along for the journey and done a lot of stuff. I want to take a particular shout out to our most common sound person. This is Mike Cooper, who is a college friend of ours. Who Jacob Reed, Ziff Creature.
Oh,
thank you so much. Mike Cooper, sound guy, been with us since the beginning and
just had his birthday.
Happy birthday, Mike Cooper, and figured out for our VR thing how to do all of the ambisonic sound, which hopefully you're experiencing and enjoying.
He single-handedly figured out how this whole thing worked. So much love to Mike Cooper and to our frequent collaborators. So definitely check those out in the credits of our stuff.
Steven, thank you so much for the $5. You guys,
this is crazy.
This is incredible.
Wow, thank you.
Sam asked, do you create your own props? When there's like a very complex prop, we will usually bring on a props person or a production design person. So stuff like our friend Darcy Prevost, who's an amazing set designer, made all the miniature models for Art of the Heist. We usually,
we wish to meet you as well.
But then some of the stuff we'll make our own. the murder boards, the like things with string connecting to a bunch of pictures of stuff. We, for some reason, have had like 5 sketches that involve that, and we usually make those on our own or with Derek Scully, who helps us out a lot and is awesome.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. So Chris is calling it hard.
Lucas, I just wanted to give us the option. Lucas said bedtime, people. I don't want to keep Lucas up past his bedtime.
Night, Lucas.
What about the broom guy in the VR videos? I mean, you tell us. That's you.
Oh, as in who made the prop? Oh, Nina Casa, who did all of the production design on Space Escape and was fantastic. Big shout outs there.
Chris, how do you feel about pulling the 360 camera? That was a lot of responsibility in my hands in that moment, not only financially, but also for the fate of the universe. I had to make sure that you were safe. So felt nervous, but we hit it. We got there.
All right. Thank you so much. That was exactly an hour. We did it. What are some I'm still.
I know they're just kind of rolling in. We'll take 3 more real quick ones.
Someone said Jack to film Dragon Prince season 3 already. Thanks. Let's make more. Watch Dragon Prince.
Will you ever do a live action TV show? That's the goal.
We sure hope so. It's definitely, when we say we're like off working on other stuff, that's definitely been a big part of it, is the development process and trying to get some stuff made. So we sure hope so. Favorite Oreo flavor? Traditional.
Double stuff.
Oh, double stuff. Is that a flavor? To me, that's like a format.
It is. It comes back to the skit versus
sketch. Right.
Discussion.
If double stuff is a flavor, have you done the like triple or quadruples, whatever, the like massive one?
I didn't even know when. So it's like
I've seen it.
It's like an in and out double, triple double kind of thing.
It exists now, but all right, y'all. Thank you so much. Will we stream again in the near future? Sure. Let's do 100K. We're gonna go.
We'll do a sing along of Daughtry.
And we'll go make some more sketches, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Love y'all.
Love you.
Bye.
Thanks.